everyone. Welcome to today's episode of your daily English practice. I'm Emily.
And I'm David. We're really happy that you're here learning with us today. If you're new here, make sure to follow and join us so you don't miss our daily English conversations.
So, David, how has your week been going so far? You look a little distracted today.
Honestly, I had a really crazy morning. I was trying to finish a logo design for a client. While I was working on the design, my friend Lily suddenly called me.
Oh, so you tried to handle both things at the same time?
Exactly. I picked up the phone and started talking to her while I was still moving things around on my computer screen.
Ah, multitasking. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it goes terribly wrong.
Yes, and today it definitely went wrong. During our phone call, I accidentally deleted half of the design file.
Oh no, that must have been a terrible moment.
It really was. My heart just dropped. I suddenly felt this cold wave run through my chest because I thought all my work was gone.
I can imagine. So what happened next?
Well, I started panicking. I was trying to press the undo button as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Lily was happily telling me all about her weekend plans.
And you probably weren't really listening at that moment.
Not at all. I was just saying, yeah, that sounds great, while my brain was screaming inside.
That sounds like such a stressful situation. But actually, you just did something very interesting.
Really? What did I do?
You just used 3 important English words perfectly: while, during, and meanwhile.
Wait, seriously? I didn't even notice that.
Yes, you said, while I was working, during our phone call, and meanwhile, Lily was telling me about her weekend. Those are perfect examples.
Wow, I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today: how to use while, during, and meanwhile correctly in everyday English conversations.
This is a really useful topic because many English learners mix these words up.
That's true. I see this mistake all the time when students are learning English.
So basically, these 3 words all describe things happening at the same time, right?
Yes, they all talk about actions happening at the same time, but the grammar rules for using them are different.
Ah, so the meaning is similar, but the structure is different.
Exactly. That's why many learners find them confusing at first.
All right then, let's break them down step by step so everyone can understand them clearly.
Good idea. Let's start with the word while, because it's the one people use most often in everyday conversation.
Okay, so tell us about while.
While is a conjunction. That means it connects 2 actions that are happening at the same time.
So after while, we need a full sentence.
Yes, that's the key rule. After while, you need a subject and a verb, a complete clause.
For example, while I was cooking, the phone rang.
Perfect example. I was cooking has a subject and a verb, so it's a complete action.
Another example could be, while Lily was driving, I was looking at the map.
Exactly right. Both actions are happening at the same time.
So the rule is simple: while plus subject plus verb.
Yes, that's the structure you should always remember. But I think learners sometimes make mistakes here.
They definitely do. A common mistake is when people try to use while with only a noun.
Like saying, while the meeting, I was bored.
Yes, and that sentence sounds wrong because while needs a verb.
So instead, we should say, while I was in the meeting, I was bored.
Exactly. Or you could say, while the meeting was happening, I felt bored.
That makes sense now. While always wants a full action after it.
Yes, you can imagine while as being a little hungry.
Hungry?
Yes, hungry for a verb. It always wants a subject and a verb to complete the sentence.
That's a funny way to remember it, but it works. Just remember, never disappoint while. Always feed it a verb.
I think that's a rule our listeners will remember for a long time.
All right, David. That explanation about while was really helpful. But now I'm curious about the next word. What about during?
Great question. During is actually very different from while when it comes to grammar.
Really? How so?
Well, during is a preposition, not a conjunction. And because it's a preposition, it means a noun after it, not a verb.
So instead of a full sentence, we just use a noun phrase.
Exactly. For example, during the meeting, I was bored.
I see the difference now. The meeting is a noun phrase, and there's no verb after during.
Right, that's the key difference between while and during.
So we could say while I was in the meeting, but we would say during the meeting.
Perfect, you've got it exactly right.
So let me repeat the rule to make sure I remember it. While wants a verb and during wants a noun.
Yes, that's the core rule. Honestly, if you remember only one thing from today's lesson, remember this. While plus verb, during plus noun.
That actually sounds very simple when you say it like that.
It really is simple once you understand the pattern.
Let me try a few examples then. How about during the movie I fell asleep?
Perfect example.
Okay, another one. During lunch, we talked about the new project.
That's great. Lunch is a noun, so it works perfectly with during.
All right, one more. During my yoga class, I almost fell over.
Wait, that sounds like it might be based on a real experience.
Maybe it is. Last month, my friend Lily convinced me to join her yoga class.
Oh, that must have been interesting.
It definitely was. During the tree pose, my legs were shaking like crazy.
That sounds difficult.
It really was. I could feel every muscle in my legs vibrating. I was standing there thinking, please don't fall, please don't fall.
So tell me the truth, did you fall?
Luckily, I didn't fall, but I came very, very close.
That's still impressive. Yoga is much harder than it looks.
My ankle was wobbling like it was having its own little earthquake.
That must have been funny to watch.
My body felt so confused. It was like my muscles were asking, "What are you doing to us? We are not used to this."
I actually have a funny yoga story too.
Really? Now I definitely want to hear it.
During my Saturday yoga class last week, something very unexpected happened.
Now I'm curious.
I brought my little dog Biscuit with me and left him in his carrier bag near the door.
That already sounds risky.
Yes, and during the first 5 minutes of the class, he somehow managed to escape.
Oh no, what did he do?
While everyone in the room was doing the downward dog pose, Biscuit walked right into the middle of the yoga room.
That must have been hilarious.
He walked around slowly like he owned the place.
That sounds exactly like a confident little dog.
My instructor, Danny, was trying so hard not to laugh.
I can imagine the whole class trying to stay serious.
While she was guiding us through the next pose, Biscuit sat down right in front of her.
That's amazing.
He just stared at her like he was the most focused student in the class.
Maybe he wanted to learn yoga too.
My face turned completely red.
You must have been embarrassed.
I could literally feel the heat in my cheeks. I was thinking, please, Biscuit, not right now.
But I bet everyone thought it was adorable.
Actually, they did. During the rest of the class, people kept smiling whenever they looked at him.
That sounds like the cutest yoga class ever.
Yes, Biscuit is now famous as the yoga dog.
All right, let's go back to the grammar for a moment and make the comparison very clear.
Good idea. Let's show the same situation using while and during.
Okay, here's the first one. While I was in the meeting, my phone rang.
Perfect. That uses while plus full clause.
Now, the during version would be, during the meeting, my phone rang.
Exactly. Same meaning, but different grammar.
Let's try another example.
Sure.
While we were having dinner, the power suddenly went out.
And the during version would be, during dinner, the power went out.
So the message stays the same, but the sentence structure changes.
That's right.
I think the biggest mistake learners make is mixing them together.
Yes, that happens a lot. For example, some people say, during I was eating.
And that's not correct.
Exactly. During cannot be followed by a full clause.
So we must choose one of these two correct forms, while I was eating or during the meal.
Perfect explanation.
If you're listening right now and you've made that mistake before, don't worry.
It's actually one of the most common mistakes in English.
Even advanced learners sometimes mix them up.
But now you know the rule.
Exactly. Just remember the fun way to think about it.
While is hungry for a verb.
And during is perfectly happy with a noun. All right, David, we've talked about while and during, but now I'm curious about the third word. What about meanwhile? That one always feels a little different to me.
You're right, Emily. Meanwhile is different from the other two. It works in a different way in English sentences.
How exactly is it different?
Well, meanwhile is an adverb, and we usually use it to connect two separate sentences or ideas that are happening at the same time.
So it doesn't go inside a sentence the same way while or during does.
Exactly. Instead, meanwhile usually starts a new sentence. It connects two events that are happening at the same time, but often in different places or with different people.
Oh, so it's like telling two parts of a story at once?
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Kind of like when you're watching a movie and the scene suddenly switches to another location?
Perfect example. Imagine the camera cutting from one scene to another. That's exactly what meanwhile does in storytelling.
Let me try an example then. David was at home working on his design project. Meanwhile, Lily was at the grocery store buying food.
That's a perfect sentence. You're showing two different people doing two different things at the same time.
So meanwhile helps the listener imagine both scenes.
Exactly. It's almost like being a narrator in a story.
I like that idea. It feels very cinematic.
Yes, it gives your storytelling more detail and imagination.
Let me try another example. I was stuck in traffic for almost an hour. Meanwhile, my dinner was getting cold at home.
That's a fantastic example.
I can already picture the situation.
Me too. I can imagine you sitting in the car, frustrated, tapping your fingers on the steering wheel.
And meanwhile, my pasta is just sitting on the table getting colder and colder.
Poor pasta. It's probably looking at the clock and wondering where you are.
Exactly. My food is probably thinking, she's not coming, is she?
That's actually a very sad story for the pasta.
Now I feel bad for my imaginary dinner.
Meanwhile, the pasta is slowly losing hope.
Stop it. Now I'm actually imagining a sad plate of spaghetti.
See? That's the power of storytelling with meanwhile.
I've noticed something interesting. Meanwhile can also make situations funny.
Yes, that's true. It works really well when you want to show a funny contrast between two situations.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine this situation. I told Jake that I was studying very hard for my exam. Meanwhile, I was actually lying on the couch watching cat videos for 3 hours.
That is extremely relatable.
I think many people have experienced something like that.
You tell yourself that you're being productive.
And meanwhile, your phone shows a screen time report that tells a very different story.
Your brain says, we are studying right now.
And your phone says, actually, we watched 47 cat videos.
That's a painful truth.
The ultimate betrayal by technology.
If you're listening and thinking, that sounds exactly like me, don't worry.
Yes, everyone has had moments like that.
Procrastination is a very human experience.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see if I can summarize all three words.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
First, while needs a verb because it connects two full actions happening at the same time.
Correct.
Second, during needs a noun, like during the meeting or during lunch.
Exactly right.
And third, meanwhile usually starts a new sentence and shows another situation happening at the same time.
That's a perfect summary, Emily.
Wait a moment, David. I think there's something else about while.
Oh? What are you thinking about?
I've heard people use while in another way. Sometimes it feels like it means but or although.
Great observation. You're absolutely right. While can also be used to show contrast between two ideas.
So instead of showing two actions happening at the same time, it shows two different opinions or situations.
Exactly.
For example, while I love coffee, you prefer tea.
Perfect sentence.
That basically means I love coffee, but you prefer tea.
Yes, it's just a slightly more formal or polished way of expressing contrast.
Let me try another example then. While Emily is very organized, David is a little messy.
Hey, that might actually be accurate.
I'm just describing the contrast.
A very honest contrast, apparently.
Here's another example. While working from home has many advantages, it can also feel lonely sometimes.
That's a beautiful sentence.
Because it shows two sides of the same situation.
Exactly. One positive side and one negative side.
So in this case, while means something like on the other hand.
Yes, that's a great way to understand it.
It's like looking at two sides of the same coin.
Perfect explanation.
David, before we finish this topic, I want to share a really helpful tip for learners who are trying to understand the different meanings of while.
That sounds useful. What's the tip?
The trick is very simple. If you can replace while with although or but, and the sentence still makes sense, then while is showing contrast.
Interesting. And what about the other meaning?
If you can replace while with at the same time as, then it's the time meaning.
That actually sounds like a very practical test.
Yes, it's a quick way to understand which meaning the sentence has.
Let me try an example to see if I understand. While I was sleeping, it started raining.
Good example. Now try the test.
Okay, if I say, at the same time as I was sleeping, it started raining, the sentence still makes sense.
Exactly. That means while is showing two actions happening at the same time.
All right, let me try another one. While I respect his opinion, I disagree with him.
Now apply the test again.
If I replace while with although, it becomes, although I respect his opinion, I disagree with him.
Perfect. That means while is showing contrast in this sentence.
I really like this trick. 2 meanings and 1 simple test.
Yes, it's a very helpful strategy for learners.
Emily, I have another question about meanwhile.
Go ahead.
I've also heard the phrase, in the meantime. Is it the same as meanwhile?
That's a great question. They are very similar, but they are used in slightly different ways.
So what's the difference?
Meanwhile is usually used in storytelling when you are describing two events happening at the same time in different places.
Like switching between 2 scenes in a movie.
Exactly.
And what about in the meantime?
In the meantime is usually used when we are waiting for something to happen and we talk about what we can do during that waiting period.
Can you give an example?
Sure. For example, the food will be ready in 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's have a drink.
That makes sense. We're doing something while we wait.
Exactly. So let me try to explain it. Meanwhile is for parallel stories, and in the meantime is for waiting time.
That's a fantastic way to explain it.
Emily, can I share a funny story that actually uses all 3 words?
Of course, I would love to hear it. All right, so last weekend, I decided to cook dinner for my friend Lily.
That already sounds like an adventure.
It really was. While I was chopping onions in the kitchen, my eyes suddenly started burning.
Onion tears are the worst.
Seriously, it felt like someone had started a tiny fire behind my eyeballs.
That sounds painful.
During the chopping, I was basically crying.
Really crying?
Yes, tears were running down my face and my nose was running too.
That must have looked dramatic.
I probably looked like a complete disaster in the kitchen.
So what happened next?
Meanwhile, Lily walked into the kitchen and saw me standing there crying over onions.
Let me guess. She started laughing?
Even worse, she took out her phone and started recording me.
She did not.
She absolutely did.
That's hilarious.
While I was standing there half blind from the onion tears, she was filming the entire moment.
That's a true friend right there.
And during those 10 seconds of recording, something even worse happened.
Now I'm curious.
I accidentally knocked the cutting board off the counter.
Oh no!
Onions went flying everywhere across the kitchen floor.
That must have been chaos.
Meanwhile, my little dog Biscuit ran into the kitchen.
Let me guess what happened next.
Biscuit grabbed a piece of onion and ran away with it like he had just won a prize.
That dog sounds very proud of himself.
He was running around the room with his tiny legs moving as fast as possible.
I can imagine that scene perfectly.
He looked so happy, like he had just won a trophy.
That is such a funny story.
And the best part is that I used while, during, and meanwhile without even thinking about it.
Exactly, and that's the goal when learning grammar.
When it starts to feel natural, you know you've really learned it.
All right, David, let's do a quick practice round for our listeners.
That sounds like a great idea.
I'll give you a situation, and you choose the correct word. While, during, or meanwhile.
Okay, I'm ready.
Your sister Sarah called you at the same time you were eating lunch.
All right, I would say, Sarah called me while I was eating lunch.
Perfect answer.
I used while because the phrase I was eating has a verb.
Exactly right.
What's the next one?
Say the same idea again, but this time use during.
Okay, I would say, Sarah called me during lunch.
Excellent.
Because lunch is a noun and during needs a noun.
Perfect explanation. Excellent work, David. Let's try another situation to practice these words a little more.
All right, I'm ready. Give me the scenario.
Imagine this. You were eating lunch in one city, and your sister Sarah was in another city at work thinking about calling you.
Okay, let me think about that. I could say, I was eating lunch in my apartment. Meanwhile, Sarah was at her hospital in Denver thinking about calling me.
That's a beautiful example.
Really?
Yes, you created two separate scenes. First, we see you in your kitchen eating lunch, and then the camera moves to Sarah in Denver.
I like that movie-style explanation.
That's exactly how meanwhile works. It lets the listener imagine two different places at the same time.
I can actually picture the whole scene in my head.
Great! Let's try one more example.
Sure, go ahead.
Your friend went to a concert, and it started raining while the concert was happening.
Okay, I think there are two correct ways to say this.
Yes, there are.
First option, during the concert, it started raining.
That's correct.
And the second option, while they were at the concert, it started raining.
Perfect. Both sentences have the same meaning.
The only difference is the grammar.
Exactly. During is followed by a noun, and while is followed by a clause with a verb.
I think I'm starting to really understand this.
You're doing great.
Actually, I want to try telling a real story from my life using these words.
That sounds fun. Go ahead.
Yesterday, while I was on a video call with a client, my friend Jake sent me the funniest meme.
Oh no, that's dangerous timing.
It really was. During the call, I was trying so hard not to laugh.
I know that feeling.
My lips were pressed together so tightly that my whole face started shaking.
That must have looked suspicious.
It probably did.
Did your client notice something strange? I think she did. At one point she asked, "David, are you okay?" That must have been awkward. I just replied, "Yes, sorry, I think I'm getting a little cold." That's a classic excuse. Meanwhile, Jake kept sending even more memes to my phone. Of course he did. The problem was that he had no idea I was in an important video meeting. That's the worst possible timing. Exactly. I was trying to stay professional while my phone was basically delivering comedy gold. And you were trying not to laugh the entire time. Yes, my chest felt tight because I was holding the laughter inside. I know that exact feeling. It's like when you really need to laugh, but you absolutely cannot. Yes, it's almost painful. It feels like a pressure cooker building inside your body. The more you try to hold the laugh in, the harder it becomes. Exactly. During the last 10 minutes of the call, every time the client spoke, I kept remembering the meme. And the laughter kept trying to escape again. That's exactly what happened. That sounds like torture. It really was. So, what happened when the call finally ended? The second the meeting finished, I burst out laughing. Total freedom. It felt like all the pressure left my body at once. That's such a great story. And the funny thing is that I used while, during, and meanwhile naturally again.
Exactly, and that's the goal when learning grammar. When you stop thinking about the rules and just use the language naturally. Yes, that's the moment when grammar becomes instinct instead of memorization. I feel like these words finally clicked together in my brain. Like puzzle pieces fitting perfectly into place. That's the best feeling when learning a language. If you're listening and the explanation clicked for you too, that's amazing. Hold on to that feeling and keep practicing. All right, David, let's finish with a quick vocabulary review. Great idea. Let's summarize everything clearly. First word, while. While is a conjunction that connects two actions happening at the same time. And remember, while is always followed by a subject and a verb. For example, while I was reading, the cat jumped onto my lap. While is very useful for everyday storytelling. Second word, during. During is a preposition that is followed by a noun. It describes something that happens within a specific period of time. For example, during the storm, we lost electricity. During is simple, short, and very clear. Third word, meanwhile. Meanwhile is an adverb used to connect two different scenes happening at the same time. For example, I was studying for my exam. Meanwhile, my friends were relaxing at the beach. Meanwhile is a powerful storytelling word. Fourth phrase, in the meantime. In the meantime means while waiting for something to happen. For example, the pizza will be ready in 20 minutes. In the meantime, let's set the table. It's perfect for describing what to do during a waiting period. And finally, the phrase, at the same time. This phrase simply means two things happening together. For example, we both said the same word at the same time. And that's a great way to finish today's lesson. All right, David, let's continue our vocabulary review with a few more useful words related to things happening at the same time. Great idea! These words are really helpful for everyday conversations. The next phrase is at the same time. At the same time is a very direct and simple phrase. It clearly means that two things are happening together. For example, you could say, we both started laughing at the same time. Or another example, we both said the same word at the same time. I like this phrase because it's easy to understand and easy to use. Yes, it's simple and very clear for beginners and advanced learners alike.
Now let's move to the sixth vocabulary word, multitask.
Multitask means to do more than one activity at the same time.
For example, someone might say, I was cooking dinner while talking on the phone and checking my email.
That's definitely multitasking.
Although sometimes multitasking doesn't work very well.
That's true. I often try to multitask, but I usually end up doing two things badly instead of one thing well.
That's a very honest definition of multitasking.
I think many people can relate to that experience.
Let's move to our seventh word, simultaneously.
Simultaneously is a more formal way to say at the same time.
You'll often hear this word in formal speaking or writing.
For example, the two events happened simultaneously.
Another example could be, both doors opened simultaneously.
It sounds more formal than simply saying at the same time.
Yes, it's especially common in academic writing or news reports.
Now we come to our eighth vocabulary word, overlap.
Overlap means that two events happen partly at the same time.
This word is very common when talking about schedules.
For example, my meetings overlap, so I can't attend both of them.
That situation happens to me all the time.
Another example might be, our vacation dates overlap for a few days.
That means part of the time period is shared.
Exactly.
So today we learned 8 vocabulary words related to things happening at the same time.
Let's review the most important idea from today's lesson.
The key takeaway is very simple.
While needs a verb,
During needs a noun,
and meanwhile usually starts a new scene or sentence.
Simple rules like these make English much easier to understand.
Exactly. When you remember the structure, the grammar becomes much clearer.
And once you start using these words in real conversations, they will begin to feel natural.
All right, everyone, that was a great discussion about while, during, and meanwhile.
Now we have a question for you.
Tell us in the comments, what were you doing while listening to this episode?
Maybe you were on the bus, cooking dinner, studying, or walking your dog.
Try to answer using while, during, or meanwhile.
We always enjoy reading your answers and examples.
If you enjoyed this conversation, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
We'll see you tomorrow with another easy and useful English conversation.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.